All eyes are on a trial unfolding in New Mexico for Hannah Gutierrez-Reed. The Arizona armorer is facing involuntary manslaughter for the 2021 Rust movie set death of the cinematographer.
Yeah, prosecutors say Gutierrez-Reed was in charge of gun safety on the set, and it was her job to make sure the prop gun used by Alec Baldwin was properly loaded with blanks. Instead, it had live ammunition inside, and it went off, killing Hannah Hutchins. True crime correspondent Brianna Whitney monitored the trial for us today. Brianna, the trial actually started last week. What have we learned so far?
It's been interesting, and a lot of people are anxious to see how this unfolds. Basically, there's two clear sides here. The prosecution says Arizona armorer Hannah Gutierrez-Reed violated safety protocols and neglected her responsibilities, which led to the prop gun being loaded with live ammo. The defense says this is Alec Baldwin's fault for not following common sense gun safety rules.
The armorer from Bullhead City, now front and center in a New Mexico courtroom with the nation watching. 26-year-old Hannah Gutierrez-Reed on trial for involuntary manslaughter of Hannah Hutchins, the cinematographer struck and killed by a live bullet on the Rust movie set in 2021. In court Monday, rehearsal of that gun scene with Alec Baldwin shown.
So camera left for now.
I'll stand right here for you.
So whip it out. Yeah. Okay, well, let me get this all greased and ready.
Prosecutors say there never should have been live bullets on set, and Gutierrez-Reed didn't make vital safety checks that would have caught the problem. On the stand today, Rust crew member Ross Adiego, who was there when the fatal shot rang out.
Did you hear anything from Ms. Hutchins?
If I did, it was just, the groaning and discomfort from being shot by a firearm. I heard them call for a life flight, so they were trying to stabilize her to get her in a helicopter.
Last week, a weapons specialist testified about the ammunition she saw and how live bullets did look and sound different than the dummy bullets that had more of a narrow head and would rattle.
This was all of the ammunition that was loose and not in boxes that was located on top of the cart. These 2 rounds were sent to the FBI because they were suspected live rounds, which the FBI confirmed.
The defense says Alec Baldwin created a chaotic and unsafe environment for the crew, including Gutierrez-Reed, and that she was having to split her time as both the armorer and a props assistant at just 24 years old. But prosecutors also say Gutierrez-Reed used cocaine, marijuana, and alcohol the night before the shooting.
The decisions she made that day ultimately contributed to Ms. Hutchins' death.
Now, if convicted of involuntary manslaughter, Hannah Gutierrez-Reed could face up to 18 months in prison. And just in today, Alec Baldwin's trial date announced, set to start on July 9th. He also is facing involuntary manslaughter. Both Gutierrez-Reed and Baldwin have pleaded not guilty.
And there was also a government report published on this?
Yeah, about 6 months after a government report found that the gun safety procedures on the set were not being followed or enforced, and that the film's management team knew about it and did nothing about it. The whole company was cited. They had to pay $137,000, which is the maximum that they could pay by New Mexico law. So there were clearly issues here on set.
This case is so wild. You got this mega star at the center of it, and it kind of gives you a peek into what happens on movie sets. I don't think that before this case we even knew that something like this was even possible.
I think something like this happened in the 90s as I was reading through my research, but they even said in the trial when people were testifying that something like this or an incident like this happening on a movie set is extremely rare.
And a lot of people are watching this case. It's playing out. It's live streamed. Of course, when Alec Baldwin goes on trial later this year, do you anticipate it will also be live streamed? And people are going to be watching that.
Right. I mean, it would be up to the judge. If the judge in this case says we can live stream this one and you can watch it in real time, I don't know what would maybe stop them from also making that ruling in Alec Baldwin's. But it's always up to the judge in that trial. Will it be the same judge? I don't know.
Well, I mean, he's been vocal about what's happening with this case, so
people will want to watch it
for sure. We'll see. Thank you, Brianna.